Welcome. Today is Saturday, March 16th, 2019. Here's what's what. Public payphones turned out to be a vital lifeline during the major earthquake and tsunami that hit northeastern Japan 8 years ago, as they tended to work even when cell phone networks went down. Most children these days are unfamiliar with payphones, which is something a telecom firm is working to change. NTT East surveyed parents with children in elementary school, and nearly 80% said their sons or daughters don't know about payphones or have never used them. To encourage awareness of payphones, the company has set up a website aimed specifically at children. The site has quizzes and videos to help explain how to use the phones. It also features a payphone locator. NTT East says it will add a virtual reality experience so children can play at finding a payphone and making a call on the site. They hope children can use payphones regularly and get used to the different kinds so they're prepared when disaster strikes. The company also says it wants children to make sure they know the key numbers to call in an emergency. A U.S. warship has essentially been quarantined at sea for over 2 months and has been unable to make a port call due to an outbreak of a viral infection similar to mumps. 25 sailors and Marines aboard the USS Fort McHenry amphibious warship have been diagnosed with parotitis, which causes symptoms similar to mumps. Until asked about the incident, the U.S. military had not disclosed it. The illness first broke out in December 2018, with the most recent case being reported on March 9, 2019. None of the cases are life-threatening, and all have either already made or are expected to make a full recovery. A U.S. military official says that when there are major disease outbreaks, a decision may be taken to halt port visits until 30 days after the last reported illness due to varying incubation periods. But the Fort McHenry did make a port call in early January in Romania when it was in the Black Sea before traveling back through the Mediterranean and into the Middle East. Italy's Justice Ministry has ordered a preliminary inquiry into an appeals court ruling that overturned a rape verdict in part by arguing that the woman who was attacked was too ugly to be a credible rape victim. The appeals sentence was handed down in 2017 by an all-female panel, but the reasons behind it only emerged publicly when Italy's High Court annulled it on March 5th and ordered a retrial. The Court of Cassation said Wednesday its own reasons for ordering the retrial will be issued next month. 2 Peruvian men were initially convicted of the 2015 rape of a Peruvian woman in Ancona, but the Italian appeals court overturned the verdict and absolved them, finding that she was not a credible witness. In part of the ruling, the court noted that the suspects had found her unattractive and too masculine to be a credible rape victim. Turning to birthdays for today, March 16th. Lauren Graham is 52. Lauren's an American actress and author. She's best known for her role as Lorelai Gilmore on the television series Gilmore Girls, for which she received nominations for Screen Actors Guild, Golden Globe, and Satellite Awards. Eric Estrada turns 70. Eric is an American actor, voice actor, and police officer known for his co-starring lead role as California Highway Patrol Officer Frank Poncherello in the police drama television series Chips, which ran from 1977 to 1983. In 2009, Eric was a full-time deputy sheriff in Bedford County, Virginia. As of July 1, 2016, he was a reserve police officer in St. Anthony, Idaho. Chuck Woolery is 78 today. Chuck is an American game show host, talk show host, and musician. He's had long-running tenures hosting several different game shows. He was the original host of Wheel of Fortune, 1975 through 1981, the original incarnation of Love Connection, 1983 through 1994, and Scrabble, 1984 through 1990. Chuck also performed as Mr. Dingle on the children's television series New Zoo Review in the early 1970s. Japan is planning to request other countries help operate the Subaru telescope located near the top of Hawaii's Mauna Kea volcano to increase available funding and widen the scope of research activities. The optical infrared telescope, with a mirror measuring 8.2 meters, 26 feet, in diameter, was built by the National Astronomical Observatory of Japan on the island of Hawaii in 1999. It's been at the forefront of research into black holes and planets outside of the solar system, but has struggled to secure finance to pay for repairs amid budget cuts. Some wineries choose to harvest their grapes at night because of the cooler temperatures. This helps to concentrate the aromas and flavors. Cool fruit means better control over the fermentation process. It's especially important for white wines and rosés when looking for crispness and aroma. The cooler temperatures keep sugar levels more stable. Mainly for the temperature, harvesting manually at night starts at 8 p.m. and finishes at about 5 a.m. The grapes get to the sorting table in the winery at 6 a.m. with a temperature of 65 degrees Fahrenheit. If harvested during the day, the temperature of the grapes could be 95 degrees or more, which means lost aromatic precursors and higher oxidation rate. Harvesting at night means better complexity of aromatics, better control for the start of the fermentation, and less oxidation of fruit. Because they use cold maceration, harvesting at night can also help wineries to save energy since they don't have to cool the grapes down. Picking at night makes sure all the grapes are the same temperature. The result is better wine, lower energy costs, and greater efficiency. McDaniel Lifeline is recalling all lots of Lifeline water. The product is contaminated with Pseudomonas aeruginosa, a bacterium that can cause disease in plants and animals, including humans. Use of the contaminated product has a remote probability of requiring medical or surgical intervention to preclude or reverse permanent damage to a body structure or function. The company has not received any reports to date of adverse events related to this recall. The product, packaged in 1-gallon bottles, was sold in the United States and Canada on the internet at sales@lifelinewater.com. Customers who purchase the recalled product should stop using it and discard it. Consumers with questions may contact the company. Researchers analyzed video from remote camera trap devices placed in ape-populated forests throughout Africa to see how wild apes would react to these unfamiliar objects. Responses varied by species and even among individuals within the same species. But one thing was consistent throughout. The apes definitely noticed the cameras. They poked them, stared at them, and occasionally tried to bite them. The goal was to see how chimpanzees, bonobos, and gorillas react to unfamiliar objects in the wild, mostly to determine if the presence of research equipment like cameras has any effect on their behavior and if there were any differences among the 3 great apes. Researchers were specifically surprised by the differences in reactions observed between the chimps and bonobos. Since they're sister species and share a lot of the same genetic makeup, they expected them to react similarly to the camera, but this wasn't the case. A team of researchers at the Weizmann Institute of Science in Israel has found that people sometimes do better on tasks if they inhale first. Sports fans have grown used to seeing athletes take a big breath before they execute a task, such as serving a tennis ball. Others have likely done the same before embarking on a task themselves, such as taking a final exam. It's an activity that's come to be associated with diving into a difficult task. The researchers have found that inhaling before carrying out certain tasks can actually help people do better on them. When the researchers monitored volunteers via EEG, they found what they describe as shifts in brainwave activity when volunteers inhaled before executing a task. A sign, they claim, that the brain is becoming more focused by increasing awareness of what is about to occur.